and welcome to the Science Fantasy Experience and to a toy review. A toy review of the Machine Robo Revenge of Kronos MR-10 Steam Robo. Ever since I was a kid, I have had a huge love of steam engines, especially locomotives. My dad and I always used to go to steam fairs growing up, and now where I live in the south, literally an hour's drive away down in Liphook and Liss, there is a turn of the century Victorian steam fair. There is something about the steam engine that I just absolutely love, whether it be the smell or just the pure power and the amazing designs of the locomotives of the time, from the 1930s to the 1950s, when the steam age was in full swing. I've just always enjoyed it, and the fact that there has been a couple of transforming toys that have been locomotives, again, it's absolutely incredible. And for someone that loves steam engines that much, it's great to have a toy representation of a very cool transforming train. And they are few and far between. If you think about Transformers, the Decepticon Triple Changer, Astro Train, it's just never gotten a decent toy for me. The fact that it is a triple changer and it's trying to get 3 modes in one, there's always going to be one mode that suffers, and sadly it is often the train mode. So to have a modern interpretation of Steam Robo brought back, it's so good. And the keen eyes out there, or people of a certain age, are going to recognise Steam Robo as Loco, the renegade from the Challenge of the GoBots cartoon. But let's have a quick look at the box, because I absolutely love the box. I've mentioned before that packaging and the box art is always a big draw when it comes to toy collecting, and I think this box is really, really cool. And I think it's so cool because of simplicity. They haven't gone overboard with too many graphics. They've used the same colour palette as the toy. And then you've got either mode on the various sides. I would be quite happy to display either mode on display on the shelf next to the box. I guess I'd want to do the alt mode with the robot mode, just to give that shelf presence a little bit of oomph. Not that the toy doesn't need anything else to back it up, because it is a really great transforming toy. So let's have a look at the alt mode. So here is Steam Robo, or Loco, in its alt mode of the locomotive. It's actually based on a JNR class D51 locomotive made by, I think it was the Japanese government railways. And they even, acknowledge that by giving it that number on the front, which is also harkens back to the original GoBot toy, or Machine Robo toy, from back in 1983-84. It's such a great alt mode. You cannot tell that there is a robot hiding underneath that. It is just like how the GoBots were back in 83 and 84. that's what I loved about GoBots so much, is that they looked like toy cars and toy planes and one toy like train. That was the whole beauty of it. Their alt modes just never suffered at all. As I said, it is quite a small toy compared to the likes of Transformers. To give you an idea of scale, we've got the VF1, which is 1/60 scale, and then you've got the Machine Robo. So you can see there is quite the scale difference, but I really enjoy the size of it. It's a real pick up and play piece to have, and because there's die cast in it, it's actually got some heft to it. You've got actually rotating wheels on both sides, and it's just, the gold really pops. It's really shiny compared with the matte black finish. To compare it to Loco from the original Machine Robo GoBots range, I feel that was much more shinier. The sad thing is I never owned one, and I was desperate to have one as a kid. It was the one GoBot I actually wanted was Loco. You know, I was happy having Leader 1, but I would have loved to have a Steam Robo or a Loco as a kid. But now that I'm an older adult collector, getting a modern interpretation, you know, that's my thing, that's my jam. I love just getting toys that have that nostalgic feel, and this just does it in an absolute abundance. It's a stunning alt mode. But let's have a look at the robot mode. Steam Robo or Loco's robot mode. As you can see, it gains a hell of a lot more mass and height when it goes into robot mode. It's hard to believe that there's an actual robot hidden underneath that smaller locomotive. It really harkens back to the GoBots for sure and Machine Robo. You still got that blocky essence that it had in the cartoon. A proper robot, just really square lines, and that's still captured within this modern interpretation. And if we have a look around, there is just absolutely no kibble. It's a bit of a pet peeve of mine with collecting Transformers, that they're just full of kibble all the time. So much kibble everywhere, and it's a shame that it has to be that way. But with Machine Robo and GoBots, you just don't get it at all, and this is a perfect example of that. As you can see, there's some extra detail when it comes to the robot. You've got the D51 insignia, just like his original toy, and the homage to the locomotive that it's inspired by. You've got some, this is all metallicized paint along with down here to give him that detail. And one of the things I love most about this robot mode is how much it still kind of retains that train element. You get to see all the detail of the train forming the legs. But what makes this a really excellent transforming toy is the articulation. The only downside is the head. The head is kind of limited by those two bits of the front of the train, but you still get an up and down motion and side to side. But everything else, it's all on ball joints, so you can just get that huge range of motion. You know, you get the full waist swivel, ball joints. for the waist to the leg, and then you get knee bends that are also ratcheted. Here, a couple of clicks. And then what makes a toy be a masterpiece is that huge ankle tilt. You can just get some incredible poses. However you see fit to have it, whether you're having it in display on robot mode or train mode, it's gonna pop on that shelf. Even though it's black, this figure just absolutely comes to life when it goes into robot mode. It's not without its flaws, don't get me wrong. It's still a great toy, but the gun's a little bit weak. It's a little lackluster, but sometimes you don't always want to, have your robot with a gun. It's a perfectly poseable figure, but the pistol does add a little something extra. My only gripe, and it's not even a bad one, is some of the tolerances. It's quite loose in places, but the fact that it's more of a pick up and play, in some ways you want that looseness. So is it a benefit that it's a little bit looser so you can just pick it off the shelf and play with it and transform it? Or is it, do you want it that little bit stiffer? That VF1 Fighter, the tolerances are so high on it that it's frightening to transform into Gerwalk and Batroid mode. It frightens the life out of me. So take that as you will, whether you like Lucy or Tighty. I think it's a great representation of Loco, and I'm really pleased to have it within the Science Fantasy Experience collection. Machine Robo, Revenge of Kronos, MR-10, Steam Robo, or Loco from GoBots. I've been Rudy Sassoon, and always remember, it's as much about play as it is display. Thanks for watching.